Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so let's start off from where we left the last session. Basically, we were doing data manipulation. In data manipulation, what we saw is how we can go about selecting specific rows. Basically, when you select specific rows from a data set, it is called filtering. Basically, you're putting some condition and then selecting some observations from data. Which we saw we have to use a which clause, and the which clause has to be put in the row position. And there are certain times where we have big data set but we want to select only a certain columns. For example, I've got the entire customer master and I am supposed to do a SMS campaign. If it is a personalized SMS campaign, then my objective will be to get the mobile number, name of the customer, and the message, the SMS text. I don't want many other information like gender, occupation, and all those things. And moreover, there's no need of sharing these data points to the service provider who is going to send the SMS for you, because otherwise unwanted data, there will be lots of data which will be shared with many people, and data security issues will be there because it's a personal information of your customer, right? So in that case, selecting certain columns is more important. So that is what we saw in the last two sessions. Today's sessions, we are going to start with how to go about merging data. Yeah. Before we see what is merge, let me explain the concept of merge. Let me have a blank slide coming. You have got a particular data which is, say, customer table. Okay. Now you have got another table which is, say, account master. Now typically, if an account is opened, account belongs to a customer, right? So all accounts should have a customer ID. That customer ID should be present in this table logically. Now if you are going to merge them, assume you requested data from the bank saying we want data of all deposit accounts. You did not ask for loan account data. And when you ask for customer master, in a customer master, one will not know whether this customer is a loan account customer or a deposit account customer. So at that level, the person who is providing you data will not be able to say whether this customer, which is the data of each customer will be in rows, whether a particular customer is a loan customer or a deposit customer. As such, the IT person might have extracted the full data and given to you. But deposit accounts has got a separate table in the banking system. Loan accounts goes in a separate table in the banking system. So you specifically asked deposit accounts. The person gave you the deposit accounts. Will there be customers in the customer table which is now available to you? Will there be customers whose corresponding account data is not there with you? Account table, which is all deposit accounts. Now this data is all of deposits. Loan account customers are not here. And this is basically all customers. This is all customers, loan or no loan. So will there be customers in your customer table for whom corresponding record in the account data shared with you is not present in account table? Definitely. Yes. Now you have to merge them. When you are merging, the first and foremost requirement is there should be a common identifier. What is a common identifier between these two tables? Account number cannot be a common identifier. Customer ID will be a common ID. Yeah. So CID or cust ID, whatever is the column name, that will be a common identifier. Now there are various types of merge. When you do merge, what will happen is you will have a bigger table that will be created. In this bigger table, all information which was there from customer table will come here. All information which is there in account table will come. So you basically the number of columns will increase because it's a merge of customer and account table. It is quite possible that you can choose to select certain columns from this table and you can choose to select certain columns from this table and get the output data. But for now, let's assume you're merging both of them entirely. Now when you're merging, you will say merge by common column. So you will have to specify by which column you have to merge. And you will say cust ID. Now there are different types of merge. The first merge is inner join or inner merge. Typically we use the word join. The first join is inner join. Inner join, what inner join says that if this is one table and this is another table as represented in Venn diagram, what is common? This is common. If you want the output to contain only the common set of customers for whom information is there in both the data tables, that is called inner join. Yeah. If you want the merge to happen such that all records which are in the left hand side of the table, basically all customers who are part of this table, irrespective of whether their information is available in account master or not, those should be part of the final output table. That will be called left outer join. Why? Because in this case what you are saying is all customers who are part of this should be in the output data. That is called left outer join. Reverse case. If you want all data which is in the right table, irrespective of whether the corresponding data from the left table is available or not, it will be called right outer. And it is quite possible that you want all data from both the table irrespective of whether they are available in both or not, and that is called full outer. So these are the types of joins, and we typically in data we call it R and SAS. When we work we call it merge instead of join. Typically there is a very subtle difference in merge, but I'm not going to focus on that at this point. Okay, at a high level this concept is clear. Inner join, outer join, full outer join, left outer, right outer. Yeah. So now the syntactical way of doing it. This is the syntactical way of going about doing it. First is to say left table. So left table is represented by x equal to. Right table is represented by y equal to. And the common identifier is represented by the by clause. So if I write the syntax this way, it will become inner join. But if I give additional information saying x, y, by, and then I say all dot x, which will become left outer. In that case, what I'm saying is I want in the output data all records irrespective of whether there is a corresponding matching identifier in the Y table. That is called left outer. If I would have said all dot y equal to t, this would have become right outer. And if I say all equal to t, this would become full outer. Okay. In case I do not specify the by clause, it will become cross join, which means all record will get merged with the other. Okay. So let us try these syntaxes. So first we will create our data sets. Okay. Let's quickly create the data set. If you already have the data sets with you, great. If not, so let us get our data sets ready for the merge. First step, as always, I'll do the set wd. So d colon k2 analytics data file, because this is where my CSV file, fixed width format, the files that we want are available. So let me set my working directory. After having set the working directory, I'll first import the CSV file, which you have already seen in our file import syntax. So let us just complete this part of the syntax, and everyone ensure you have got this data set available. Till this step, once you are with me, let me know. Okay, let us now import the second file, which is the fixed width format file. Here I am using strip.white. Just to explain what the strip.white, if we don't use, what will happen. I am deleting this option to begin with. Okay, let me import this. The fixed width format is imported. Let us see the data, and it shows this cust ID and score. These are the two columns. Yeah, if you view the data, let us see the whole data. This data set, when you view C1, C2, C3 and so forth, it seems all cust IDs are proper. Parallelly, if you view LR underscore DS1, C1, C2, C3, everything is okay. Yeah. Let us now merge these two data and see what will be the output. So the merge syntax is, I am saying merge x equal to LRDS1, y is equal to LRDS2, by is cust ID. Okay, which means I want a inner join. Yes. So when I run this, let me see how many rows do I get in this LRDF. It says 10,001. How many rows are there in LRDS1? 20,000. And how many rows are there in LRDS2? 20,000. Let us view the merged data now. The first record which I get merged is C 10,000. Where is C1? This is C1. This is DS2, C1. C1 should have merged, but C1 has not merged. Okay. This C1 till C9999, they have not merged with each other. Only the merging has happened after C10,000. This is because the second file that I had, which is the LRDS2 which we imported, was a fixed width format. In a fixed width format, if a particular value is less than the assigned value, number of characters to it. In that case, what does happen to the remaining thing? Spaces. So the first customer ID was C1 and we have allocated two customer ID, 6 spaces. So what are the remaining 4? It will become blank spaces. So what happened is when we imported this data without that option of strip dot white equal to T. When we imported it without that, C1 and 4 spaces became the value of the cust ID. Now is C1 equal to, is this and this C1, this text C1, is it equal to this text? If you do this, it says false. So the comparison between these two cust IDs, visually we feel it is C1, visually we see it is C1. But actually this C1, when I copy, if you see there are 4 empty thing, this selection. But when you do the same thing here, this C1 is only just 2 characters. But actually here it is 4 characters, 4 blanks after C1. To overcome that, we have to use this strip.white. So whenever you are importing a fixed width format file, trailing spaces are not values. The trailing spaces should be knocked off automatically. As such, you should use strip.white. Now when I import this with strip.white element, and now let us remerge this data using the same syntax. And now let us see what is the end row. It says 20,000. So this time all the records have got merged properly. Did you understand? Okay. So just try out the import of fixed width format. Sure, we'll solve that. Try the import of fixed width format. The syntax is here, and then do the merging. Okay. So we have seen inner join. Now we will import this Excel file. Last time the problem of Excel Connect was resolved for everyone. So we can import this XLSX file. So I'm using a library Excel Connect. The syntax is already written. So when I import it, this is the code. I have 19,000 observations in this. Let me show the data also. Head LR underscore DS3. So this table has got 19,000 observations, and the LRDF that we created in the using the merge syntax, we have 20,000 observations. So now what we are going to do is we are going to merge this and this. Now depending upon the type of merge, we may end up with 19,000 observations or 20,000 observations, because in the given data 19,000 customer IDs are common. So only there are 2 possible options. If there would be 18,000 cust IDs common, and in one of the data 2,000 different customer IDs are there, in other 1,000 different customer IDs are there, then we could have either 18,000 if we do inner join, or 20,000 if we take the bigger table as the outer table, or 19,000 if we take the smaller table as the outer table. Yeah. So now in this case, because we have 19 or 20, depending upon merge, I may end up with 19,000 observation or 20,000. So let us see the merge syntax. So now this is the merge that I want to do. X equal to LRDF, the two data frames that we merged in the previous step, which was named as smaller case LRDF. That is my X table. The Excel file that we imported just now has been named as LRDS3, that we are importing as a Y table. We are now saying it as a Y table. Common identifier is the cust ID. All dot X equal to T. This has got 20,000. If I say all dot X equal to T, output will have 20,000. If I would have said all dot Y equal to T, output would have 19,000. So let us just see. I'll run this syntax and then see how many observations and columns are there. So I'll get 20,010. Let me change this to all dot Y. In this case, it will become right outer join. If I do right outer join, I'll have 19,010 columns. Yeah. So I hope this is understood. Let me get back to all.x only. So this is my final data. So what you have to do is you have to run these syntaxes. I'll just put them together. After this, all of you who have imported the Excel file, yeah? So you have to just run these two now. Okay. After having merged the three data set, we should have some 20,000 observations and 10 columns, all of you, right? Just remember that R is case sensitive. So some of you typed cust ID as small case C and then you tried to merge the two data set, it would not have merged. Okay. Or if you we initially used the first merged, we use LRDF. It's a small case object where we have used a small case for the object naming, and then we are using capital LRDF. Both these objects are two different objects because R is a case sensitive. Yeah. And key thing that you have to remember while merging is there has to be a common identifier. If there is no common identifier, you will end up with a cross join. So let us just experiment what will happen if we would have merged the two data without a common identifier. Yeah, let's just try out that syntax also. So junk merge X is equal to LR underscore DF, Y is equal to LR underscore DS3. Okay, I'm not specifying basically the by clause and row junk. I ended up with 19,000 observations. Okay, so what it has done parallel merging. First row of the record, first row. So let us just see junk, how it looks. View junk. Okay, so this is where data has been merged. Now C1030M, some balance is there, all this thing, and holding period, and this data is there. What was the data in LRDS3? Let me just check that. Basically the first row had 9, 23, 6, such is the data. Let us just sort this data by holding period. Okay, let us just sort this data by holding period. LR underscore DS3 sorted is equal to LR underscore DS3. We are doing sorting, so there is a row sorting, so the sort function, which is an order, will come in the row position. So I am sorting based on LRDS3 holding period. So I'll put this here, comma. So this is my sorted data set. Let us just quickly see this sorted data set. All zeros are on top. Yeah. Now let us just experiment what will happen if we merge the sorted data we'll use the sorted data to merge, and let us just view. No, it is merging again the same way, because it is merging based on the row numbers. I need to change the row numbers. Okay. Okay. I'm just These row numbers are there. I just want to rename the row numbers. Because of that issue is coming up. So what we are now going to do is basically let me re-explain what will happen if we merge without giving the by clause. Okay. So here, first step, let me sort my DS3 data based on holding period. Okay. When I sort this DS3 by holding period, all my row names are still continuing as per the original data frame. Only thing is I'm getting a sorted data now. Okay. This C25 has got row number 25. For the time being, let me rename these row names. To rename these row names, what I'm doing is setting them as null. So a fresh row names will be given. I've renamed it, and again let's view this data. Now you see C25 has got row name 1. So this is in this 1, 2, 3, 4 order. Now let's see our LRDF data frame. C1 is 1. This row name 1 is given to C1. 2 is given to C10. Here 1 is given to 25. 2 is given to 42. Now let us merge these two data. We are not specifying the by clause. Now let's view the merged data. Despite not giving that, it has identified the common identifier. Surprising, because we have not specified the common identifier, and still it is merging. Probably it is identifying the cust ID automatically. Okay, so let us try one more thing. Just in case my call names would not have been same. Call names would not have been saved. The first column is cust ID. I'll rename it as CID. Okay. Now view. This time it is CID and this one. Okay. Now let us merge it. And now let's view it. Oh, that junk merge is going on. This time around, there's no common column which is having same name. The junk which is merge is happening is now there is a cross join happening. I'm going to run out of memory. 20,000